Okay, so we're going to do problem 1 from chapter 1 of Rosenlicht by Introduction to Analysis. So these are just basic set theory problems. So R is going to be real numbers, and we have the less than and less than are equal to signs having the usual meanings, and we want to show some equalities with some sets. So first, for A, we want to find the intersection of these two sets. So maybe I'll just draw what these sets are. So if we think of this as like the real numbers, so the first set is the elements. So this set we read as the set of elements x in R, such that x is greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to 3. So if this is 0 and this is 3, then everything between there, this is going to be our first set. So maybe I call this A. So if that's A, and so here I'll call this B. And so if we have again the real numbers, so here this is the set of x in R such that x is greater than -1 and less than 1. So it'll be something like this. So if this is like -1, 1, so it's all these numbers in between here and here. And so we want to show that when we intersect these, it's equal to the set of real numbers, which is greater than or equal to 0 and less than 1. And so all we want to do is we want to figure out if we have both of these, which elements, which real numbers lie in both sets. And so I'll call this C. And so if we consider the real numbers, and maybe I'll have some red as well. So maybe this is 0 and this is 3. So we know everything in between here. This is A. But then somewhere, say here, we have 1, and here we have -1, and then all of these elements, this is B, and when we intersect them, it's going to be all of these elements here that are in both A and B. So this is going to end up being C, because this is exactly, if we just look at what C is and we draw the picture, so if we have our real line, this is the elements, the real numbers, which are strictly between 0 and 1, and 1. And that's C. So here we see A intersect B is precisely C. And so that's the first one. Alright, so I'm going to get a new sheet of paper, and maybe I'll just push this up here. So question B asks us to list the elements of this following set. So first I want to focus on, so we have the set of 2, 3, and 4, and we're unioning it with the set of real numbers where x squared minus 4x plus 3 is 0. And then we're going to intersect it with the interval -1 to 3. So let's first figure out, let's first focus on solving this x squared minus 4x plus 3 equals 0. So we want to factor this and see if it factors nicely. So I believe this should factor x minus 1, x minus 3. So if you just FOIL this out, you will get this as your answer. So this tells us that So this says that the set of x in R such that x squared minus 4x plus 3 equals 0, since 1 and 3 are the roots of this, so this is the set of 1 and 3. So we have this set union this set. So when we union two sets, you just put them together. So what we want is we want to find, so when we union these, we're just going to have the set 1, 2, 3, 4. And since we're dealing with sets, even though 3 appears twice, we don't count the second one, we just think of it as 3. And we're intersecting it with the set of x in R such that negative 1 is less than x is less than 3. So since this is a strict less than, this will just equal the set of 1 and 2. Because 4 is greater than 3, so it's not in this set, and 3 is, since we're dealing with x strictly less than 3, 3 is also not in this set. So 1 and 2 are the only elements of the set. Alright, and finally, maybe I'll flip it over like this, and for C, we have this long equation, or just a bunch of sets. So I'm going to call this A, B, and C. So first, if we look at A, if we're looking at R, if this is like negative 2 and this is 0, then we're just taking everything between negative 2 and 0. So this is A. B, so we're looking at everything between 2 and 4. So if this is 2 and this is 4, we're not including them. So this is B. So if we want A union B intersects C. So let's figure out A union B is just going to be the set of both of these elements. So if we have our real numbers here, then we have like negative 2, 0, everything in between there, because these elements are in A, and then we'll have something like 2 and 4. So this here is B, so this whole thing would be A union B. And now let's look at what C is. So C, we want to intersect this with C. And so what is C? So if we have our real numbers here, well, C is everything between 0 and 3. So this is A union B, and somewhere, say here, is where 3 is. So C on this A union B will look like this. So if we think of, and it also includes 0, so if we think of what this set is, so this set, it includes 0, because that's in both C and A union B, so we have 0. So if we just draw this, it'll be 0, and then we have everything between 2 and 3. Not including 2. And this is exactly what this is. It's the set of x between 2 and 3, not including 2, but including 3, union 0. And that's exactly what we have. So that's the solution to this problem.